It may have been one of the bigger surprises of the election last night. Republican Larry Hogan defeating Anthony Brown by a significant margin to become Maryland's next governor. So where does the Free State go from here? Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell live outside of the State House in Annapolis with what the governor-elect is saying today. Brad.
Well, the governor-elect is telling some funny stories. He said, you know, his election was a surprise to most. He expected it, but it didn't really sink in last night until the state police knocked on his door and said, "Governor, we're here to protect you." He says this morning, he said to his wife, "Good morning, First Lady," and she said, "Good morning, Governor." But then he appeared publicly and said, "The party's over." Last night's victory party seems a distant memory.
Today, the real work begins.
The governor-elect is announcing his transition leaders and plans to follow through on his main campaign promises.
We're going to cut spending, and we're going to try to roll back as many of the 40 consecutive tax hikes as we possibly can.
While his victory over Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown is being called the biggest upset in the country, Hogan says he saw it coming.
People felt a huge disconnect between Annapolis and the rest of Maryland, and every single day, everywhere we went, people were coming up to me and Boyd repeatedly and saying, "We're lifelong Democrats, but we're voting for you."
Voter Stormy Friday was among those who did cast a vote for Hogan.
I think we have a lot of issues and a lot of problems, and I think he's got the right message.
But voter Frank Brown says he fears a Republican agenda.
They should have voted right to help us, but they voted to hurt us.
To such critics, Hogan points out that half of his votes came from Democrats and independents. He's pledging to represent all Marylanders.
We're all going to work together, roll up our sleeves, and work in a bipartisan fashion, reaching across the aisle and trying to come up with bipartisan common sense solutions.
Well, also in the spirit of bipartisanship, Hogan said that Governor Martin O'Malley gave him a very gracious phone call this morning and pledged his full support during the transition period. At the State House, Brad Bell, ABC 7 News.
All right, thanks, Brad. What a night of surprises last night, huh?
Big time. Big time.